Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do another coding exercise here. So we would like to write a program that prints a pattern of numbers in the form below. So this is the form that we would like to print. So in order to print something like this, we usually don't know it by heart. We need to think about it. So this is where the programs get a bit more complex than before, and we need to start thinking about how to get to the result that we want a priori to start just right away coding the program. So in order to print that, we can use a nested loop. To do that, we have one outer loop and one inner loop. So in order to have these two loops, we first start with the outer loop, that is I. We say, so let me first run the program so we see that we have the result and then we analyze it. Okay. So here we have the result as we wanted. So, but how did we get there? And with only 3 lines of code. So how did we get there? Let's analyze the code. So first we have the outer loop, which says integer I equals 1, I lower than or equal 5, I plus plus. Then, so this is not something very strange. This we have. This we already had in many examples. So here we also have this for int j equals 1. However, the upper bound of j is I. So j must be lower than or equal I, and then we increment its value one step at a time. And then we print the value j. When the first loop, the inner loop, sorry, the inner loop is finished, we go to next line, and then we go to the outer loop again. So how does it work? Let's see. Let's start writing the output here step by step. It would be easier to understand the logic. So first I equals 1, we enter the loop. J equals 1, and at the same time j must be lower than equal I. So an I is 1, so j must be lower equal 1. So only one iteration for j is allowed because it already starts from 1 and it must be lower than or equal to 1. So when it enters I equal 1, j equal 1, and the result would be 1. So it prints the value of 1 like this because we are having C out j. Then it goes here, so the inner loop is finished. It goes here, it goes to the next line. This is where the first one is printed, and then it's go to the next line. Now I equals 2. I equals 2, j again equals 1 because it starts from 1 every time. And j must be lower than or equal to I, which will be something like this. So j will be lower than or equal to because the value of I is 2 this time. So given this, we will first start with j1. So with j1, the inner loop is executed, so it prints 1. So the first result will be 1. And then it goes to the inner loop again. It increments the value of j, and j will become 2. 2 is still lower than or equal to as the condition here, so it enters the loop again and prints the value 2. So it prints 2. When it prints 2, it reached its maximum level, so it reached its upper bound, which is equal to I. So I is 2 and it reached 2, so it's finished. So the inner loop is finished. It prints it does one handle, so it goes to the next line here and starts from here. So now it goes to the first outer loop. So now I equals 3 and j starts from 1 again. And as j has to be lower than or equal to I, it means that j must be lower than or equal to 3. So j starts from 1, 1 enters the inner loop, and we print 1. Then we increment the value of j. J is 2 now. 2 is lower than or equal to 3. So yes, it comes here again and prints the value 2. And another time j is increased, and then now the value of j is 3. 3 is passing this condition, so 3 lower than or equal to 3, yes, so it comes here again and prints the value of j. So now that j is 3, it reached like this, like it's like writing 3 lower than equal to 3. So it does not it's not able to go another round, because if it goes for j equals 4, it does not pass this condition here. So because of that, the inner loop is finished. It goes to the next line using this part of the code. So, and it goes to this part. So as you see here, this one here, we reached here. Then we have this one, which is here. Then we have 1, 2, 3, which is here. And then next time when the inner loop is done, it comes here. It goes to the next line. We were here, it goes to the next line. So now we are here with this line, and then it has the outer loop. So it goes back up again. So I was 3, we increase the value of 3, it will be 4 now. 4 is lower than or equal than 5. Yes, pass the condition, enters here. So enters the inner loop. So I equals 4, j equals 1. So j must be lower than or equal to I, because in the second part of the for loop this condition applies. And then it means that because I equals 4, it means that j must be lower than or equal to 4. To do that, j equals 1 starts the loop while I is 4. So it's like writing 4 here for this time, for this round of iteration only. So j equals 1, it prints 1, and then it comes back to this line. Okay, it increased the value of j and then prints 2, then comes back to this line, increase the value of j, print 3, and then 4. When it reaches 4, it means that j is equal to its upper bound, then it cannot continue. So that it cannot continue, it finishes the inner loop, and by having this line, we are now here. After this line, it goes to the next line, and then we have the outer loop. So the outer loop is still I, which is 4. Now we increase the value of I from 4 to 5, which is the last time, because I also must be lower than or equal to 5. So this is the last round that we entered. So we enter with I value 5, I equals 5, while j equals 1. And it starts from the j equals 1 again. So j has to be lower than or equal to I, means that j has to be lower than or equal to 5. So it enters with j equals 1. So it prints 1 one time, and then increase the value of j, come back here, it prints the value 2, 3, 4, and finally 5, and it cannot go beyond 5, because when j is 5, it is reaching its maximum level, which is 5, and then it goes to the next line, So from there, we go to the next line, but we do not go back to the outer loop anymore, because also when the value of I is 5, we increase it to 6. It does not pass this condition, so it cannot enter the loop again. So this is how this nested loop would work. So let's run one more time. Yes, so you see how this nested loop has worked, and how we got to the printed form and pattern of the numbers that we were looking for here. It is very important to start practicing these things yourself, because it's little by little it is getting a bit more complex. So in order to make sure that you are improving your coding skills as you're proceeding through the course, please try these practices yourself several times. This is very important. Thank you for watching.